Most car services cost you a few £100 and take a few hours. But for Cunard, servicing a Queen takes over a month and costs a whopping £34 million. So today on Planet Cruise Weekly, we look at the 2017 Queen Victoria refit. Well, hello and welcome to episode 73 of Planet Cruise Weekly with myself, Keith, and of course, welcoming back Glenn Wallace.
How are you? You okay? Been away for a while.
You have. You've been very busy on Ideal World doing the Planet Cruise Line.
Yeah, been doing that, and just got back from a cruise on Columbus. Did our reunion cruise.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, 47 of us went back on there.
47 ex-crew members.
Yeah, including the captain, all the entertainment staff and all that. So you can imagine that
got very messy.
Yeah, that was 3 days of fun. Good fun. It was good though. I'll tell you what, the ship was nice and it was good, and they looked after it. Went down to Australia and they've looked after it. So it's nice to go back to sort of somewhere you've worked and sort of see what it's like. And then being away with the family. So yeah, just back now and ready to start work.
Well, welcome back. I'm talking about the fact that Cunard are servicing the Queen, and of course.
They did Queen Mary, didn't they?
They did Queen Mary 2 last year. Mm-hmm. They're very successful.
Which I went on to. It was beautiful.
We met. We pretty much met on.
That's where our romance started, wasn't it?
It was our bromance. Yeah. Queen Mary 2.
About 5 years ago.
I think about 5. It feels longer, but
yeah, it does.
5 years ago. So we're both ex-Cunarders. So for us to chat about this and get an opportunity to talk about one of the family, one of the Queens in Cunard's wonderful fleet, it's great. Now, Glenn's already mentioned it, but QE2, of course, had a multi-million-pound refit last year, and Cunard now have just taken their popular Queen Victoria out of service for a month for a similar freshen up and what they call a partial refit and dry docking. So it was from the 5th of May through to just after June, the 4th of June, and there was a dry docking Fincantieri, and it was a 4-week dry docking, and she was literally carved up to enable the addition of a new stern section containing extra cabins and an extended Lido pool deck. So basically, she had a rear extension.
New additions include an upgraded and increased choice of staterooms, new Britannia Club dining, a larger offering of bars, a transformed sun deck, and much more. Now, all of this work was a continuation of the 2015 refit, which saw additional 9 single cabins, new internet stations in the library, and the usual refreshing and replacing of carpets, mattresses, and of course paintwork.
So before we go any further, let's give you a little bit of background about Queen Victoria, because those of you who are new to Cunard or maybe haven't yet travelled on board QV, as we call it for short, she was launched in 2007. She was the second new build after Carnival purchased Cunard and started to basically breathe new life, rejuvenate and reinvest in the legendary cruise line. And in fact, she was my first Queen back in 2010, and actually secretly she's still my favourite of the Cunard Queens. She's elegant, she's understated and very, very typically British.
Now, there's no neon or glitz and certainly no rock climbing walls or bumper cars. Instead, luxurious furnishings and eye-catching features lend an air of extravagance to the onboard atmosphere with muted colours and lots of dark wood.
And the architecture is in keeping with the ambience of a Cunard ocean liner, dating back to the times, their famous heritage where they crossed the Atlantic and were one of the biggest names in the industry. The interior design offers a contemporary elegance of a modern luxury hotel. Now, she's almost a replica of a newer sister, Queen Elizabeth, the only main difference being the colour of the decor throughout the ship, which is kind of darker Victoriana colours, the reds and the mahoganies that we talked about on QV, rather than with Queen Elizabeth, where it's kind of those lighter blues and creams of the Art Deco period.
Now, Cunard cashes in on its impressive heritage with some classic pursuits including ballroom dancing and bridge. An outdoor games deck harkens back to the days of the 20s and 30s with croquet, shuffleboard, hoopla, deck quoits and paddle tennis. It's a slower pace of cruise holiday, one focused on service and encouraging its guests for independence and privacy.
And the thing with that as well is the dress code is stricter than certain other mainstream lines, but this is welcomed by loyal cruisers, by loyal Cunarders. It's not militant, but it's just that people like to make a bit more of an effort, particularly during the evening. Passengers' peace is also not disturbed by multiple announcements either. There is just one announcement a day, and that's at noon by the captain, and normally tells you the ship's progress. And depending on the captain, sometimes you get a little bit of history or even a small joke.
Everywhere you turn, there is a treat for the eyes, from the glittering chandeliers and white-gloved waiters serving scones at afternoon tea to elegant restaurants and deep, rich carpets.
And one of the ship's signature features is the stunning 3-tier grand lobby with its unique artwork and sweeping staircases and sculptured balconies, but it's still second in my view to the 4,000 square foot Royal Arcade on deck 3. Inspired by the Royal and Burlington arcades in London, it features another grand staircase, which is fantastic for photo opportunities. It has a custom-built chiming pillar clock by English clockmaker Dent & Co, who was the clockmaker to Queen Victoria, and whose most famous work, of course, is Big Ben in London.
Yeah, that's not there though, is it?
What? Big Ben? No, but they've still left that in Westminster. There were problems with borrowing it.
Okay, no problem. Now the clock is opposite my favourite place, which is the Golden Lion pub, probably the best pub at sea, with draft beers, pub food, and a Chas and Dave style sing-along.
So that's the background. That gives you hopefully a taster of what Queen Victoria is like. But what's new? Well, what happened in that wonderful refit of a couple of months ago? Well, for a start, Britannia Club accommodation, which is already a popular feature on the sister ships, Queen Mary 2 and Queen Elizabeth, has been added along with a dedicated Britannia Club restaurant which offers flexible dining rather than fixed sittings. Now the restaurant's been created in the space that used to be occupied by the chart room bar, if you're familiar with the ship, which is towards the aft. And there's some fantastic new staterooms.
There are, yeah. The Britannia staterooms feature newly designed carpets and soft furnishings, new flat screen HD TVs, premium sized balconies, and as requested, they now also feature tea and coffee making facilities, which is
done it for me.
Really popular with the British, yeah.
Yep.
Plus a 9-pillow concierge menu and the freedom to dine wherever you choose in a new Britannia Club restaurant.
Have you ever had a pillow menu?
Yeah, I did like the taste of it.
Now a whopping, get this, 26,574 square metres of carpet has been used just in the staterooms and suites alone during this refit. And other additions to the accommodation include interior enhancements to all the Queen's Grill and Princess Grill suites, and completely redesigned penthouse suites that now feature a private balcony and beautiful bathrooms with whirlpool baths.
Very, very nice. Plus the super spacious Cunard Grand Suite where Keith normally used to reside, with floor-to-ceiling windows and doors and a separate snug room with TV. A beautiful lounge, a master bedroom with sea views, a second bathroom with guest access, a bedroom TV that folds down from the ceiling, a walk-in wardrobe and additional storage units.
But we think the biggest evolution is the new aft sun deck. You know, this used to be a bit of a forgotten area, but now her aft Lido sun deck has been expanded, and the new design maximises and transforms the space and creates a stunning contemporary mix of kind of sun and shade that's more akin to a luxury resort roof terrace.
Yeah, sounds good. And of course, being based over in the Med, that's going to get a lot of use, of course. Now, guests will also be able to enjoy more generous seating, enhanced deck furniture, and extended shaded areas for those people that want to get out of the sun, but obviously still want to be outside. Plus, there'll now be al fresco dining options and a full beverage service throughout the day and into the evening, with, of course, live entertainment.
Now, if you followed the refit details online, you'll no doubt know there's been a lot of speculation, Glenn, about whether Queen Victoria's popular chart room was to be removed during her refit. Actually, in reality, the chart room basically has been moved and refined into more of a classy cocktail bar.
Now, the new chart room is located on deck 2 off the grand lobby, where the Cafe Corinthia is currently located, and will feature Illy coffee, Godiva chocolate treats and light bites by the day, and stellar cocktails by night. Interestingly, the menu now changes based on what destination you're going to be visiting.
Godiva chocolates, mate.
Nice.
Godiva chocolates. Oh, very good. My favourite addition is Cunard's nod to the current European Renaissance, which is sweeping the UK, because the midship lounge has now got a gin and fizz themed menu, which I think is absolutely brilliant. And this includes gin served from an old-fashioned spirit tap, which is brilliant. It also brings to life new wines, Prosecco, Cava, Champagne, alongside those premium gins and spirits. So it really gives this kind of fresh and inspiring feel to an area that's always been popular.
Excellent, sounds very, very nice. Now, if views are your thing, then you'll be excited to hear that Cunard's famous Winter Gardens has received a fantastic refit. The comfort and decor of the Winter Garden has been further refined, from the glorious glass canopy to the new elegant lounge furniture. The Yacht Club has also been revamped with more expansive seating and extended serving hours. Now, during the day, the club will host a range of social activities and entertainment events before transitioning at 3 p.m. into pre and post-dinner entertainment venue with superb dedicated jazz music, followed by a DJ and dance band late into the night.
Yeah, it's always been the kind of big late night venue on board. And for those of you who don't know, it's up quite high, so it's kind of surrounded by glass as well, and it's really great because you can just walk out and get some fresh air. So Queen Victoria is a cruise ship with the class and style of all that was beautiful about the golden age of the ocean liners. And if you want a relaxing holiday where there's no in-your-face, over-commercialised pressure and where you can enjoy more space and a refined elegance to the onboard ambience, then she's just got even better with this refit. If you want hairy chest competitions, bumper cars, then really she was never the ship for you in the first place. Hope that's helped and given you a bit of information about this exciting turn up with the Cunard fleet. Don't forget though that we do these based on what you ask us to do. So it's all about feedback. It's all about the interaction we have online via our various social media outlets. So if people want to get in contact, people do want to heckle us.
Yeah, do it loads of ways. You can contact us at hello@planetcruise.co.uk. Check us out on Twitter. Make sure you go onto Facebook. And of course our YouTube channel, like and subscribe. And you've got all the other 72, that's 72 Planet Cruise weekly shows on there if you're struggling to sleep at night time. The other way you can do it, if you're not sure about what cruise to go on the website, have a look on there. And of course the best thing to do is give us friendly people a call in the office and we'll find the best cruise for you.
Now, thank you to these people who got in touch last week. There was loads of people again, but we can only read out two. So first of all, Cameron Powell, who was commenting on the TUI Discovery. He basically said that because we did that wonderful Planet Cruise Weekly on the TUI Discovery,
yeah,
didn't
we did,
which actually is one of our most popular.
Do you know what? I'll tell you what, the Discovery this year, Discovery 1, Discovery 2 and the Explorer as well, I'll tell you what, is really, really changing Thompson.
It absolutely has changed.
Because they're going all inclusive as well.
Yeah.
You know, they are a bit more expensive, but you're getting your drinks and the ships are really, really good.
Cameron Powell said, I went on there last July, which is the TUI Discovery. It was amazing. So we agree with you, Cameron. You know, we absolutely loved it on board TUI Discovery. And then Norwegian Fjords deal a couple of weeks back. Dave May got in touch, said, I'm going with Fred Olsen. Never been before, can't wait. You know, the fjords, Dave, are one of those things that you just have to see on a cruise ship.
And if you're going in the summer, you're more or less going to get midnight sun, so it's going to be light, really, really good, and it's beautiful.
Really, really beautiful. So have a great time, take lots of photos, send them through to us, get in touch. And thank you very much for watching. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week with another exciting edition of Planet Cruise Weekly.
Cheers, guys.